Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming. We have Emma here for questions. So do we have microphones? We do. So just raise your hand and get the mic. Go ahead, Jeff.
Emma.
Hey, Jeff.
Back to a camp.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we talked to you maybe a few hours last week before Trinity's injury. What do you know about the timeline, the outlook, and just not replacing her? How does it affect how you're looking at the forward group in this camp?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I was absolutely bummed, as was she. But fortunately, it's not too bad, which will see her out of action for at least another couple of weeks. Hopefully she'll be back playoffs, but I think you'll have to ask Washington that when the end of the international camp comes. I will see her tomorrow, though. She is visiting tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to seeing her. And while she understands these setbacks happen, she's equally disappointed because she desperately wanted to be here. But fortunately, it's not too far. And I hope that she's back in playoff contention and she'll be back for the next camp.
How does it affect your forward group?
Oh, yeah. Today, I will be selecting a player from the under-23 roster to be joining us. I attended the under-23s yesterday. I'll attend it today, and I'll make a decision. I think it's important for everybody in the under-23 program to see how much we value it. And so we will take a player, whether it's in the forward line or not, or I may move other pieces around. I'll consult with all of the coaches over there, and a player will be selected at the end of training today.
Go ahead, Henry. Wait for the mic.
Hi, I'm Henry Bushnell from The Athletic. You've had a number of players in this pool have made big moves to big European clubs recently, whether it's Alyssa, Lily, Naomi, et cetera. When they're making that, in the process of making that decision, and they either reach out to you or you talk with them, what sort of advice do you give them? What sort of questions do you ask them? And like, how does that conversation go?
I mean, first of all, no, we have players that take decisions for themselves for various different reasons. And I think it's always best to ask the player that question because I don't want to speak for them. But my role as the national team coach, I can't even say as the national team coach, my role as a coach is to listen, to support, to guide. And each and every player has different needs at different moments. So usually the process is that they've made their decisions about what they want to do, and they'll come to me asking, how to start preparing for that. And often, as in the case of Alyssa, once I had heard her deal to Chelsea had gone through, I was like, how are you going to cope without Giselle? I was worried about it, to be honest. But in her case, she was like, she had her personal reasons for wanting to do that. And my job is to support that. I think when it comes to other players, it's exactly the same scenario. It's the same with Jaden Shaw phoning me up and saying, hey, listen, I'm about to be traded. I was like, oh, okay, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? I know she'd spent a lot of time setting up like a vlogging room in her house in Carolina. So was that an important resource for her? And my job is usually at the end stage to just really get them to think through challenges or realities that come with that. But first of all, I mean, sometimes I think there's, the amazing thing about the women's game and where it is that there are opportunities for players. We want the US women's national team to be the best team in the world. We want them to be in the best environments in the world. And yes, ideally that could be in the NWSL, but it's not my choice. My job is merely to support the players in what might be their dreams or their hopes. And I think you'll see with the volume of players we have coming from the NWSL, it's an amazing league for us and our talent to develop, especially this year. We've seen so many brilliant games and so much talent being given opportunity, but sometimes, other things, players have dreams of their own and who am I to tell them what to do? It's not my job.
You can go next, JT.
Hi, Asla Berit with The Athletic. A follow-up to that question is there a sweet spot in the calendar when it's better for them to leave the National League, the NWSL, and go abroad so that they will not only have experience abroad that you expect them to have, I guess, and then come back and then still be part of the ecosystem here?
Again, it's not my choice. It's they have contracts. So some players' contracts might be up, and it will, whether they renegotiate with their current clubs or make those choices. Ideally, players don't change clubs in a World Cup year, for example. It doesn't matter whether it's domestic or international. Ideally, I think you want to be, I'd like the players to be in settled environments. But I also understand that sometimes, let's say, I don't know, a player's not playing. And that means that they might have to consider an option for themselves. And when I say it really, really varies, like the players' needs and challenges and desires and situations, like vary. I could go from one extreme of, I don't know, Lily Johannes at 18 to Lindsay Horan. Like the conversations about where they're at within that could be massively different. So I just try to meet the players where they're at in their lives and what their situations are, and that's how I see my role as a coach.
JT.
Thanks, Aaron. Emma, welcome to town. Welcome back. You've been here plenty, so.
Yeah, I love
welcome
coming
back
to Philly. I'm delighted it's not January because it's freezing.
We'll be honoring Alex Morgan tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Obviously, her accomplishments, her talents, obviously speak for themselves. But as you watched her and you watched her work ethic over the years, what did that say to you and the standard that set for all these young players who keep coming?
I mean, there was nothing she didn't achieve. She was a player that epitomised everything this programme is about. She's an unbelievable credit to her family because her drive, her desire, her determination to prove herself at the highest level was second to none. You can't go anywhere in this country without them talking about Alex Morgan, and I think the sport should show a lot of gratitude to that because it's important for our players to be recognisable, and she is without question in recent times one of the most recognisable faces in our sport. And I love this tradition when we honour our players in retirement, and I know the fans will all be coming out not just to support us but absolutely to acknowledge what a wonderful career she had. And like I said, she's got so many telling moments that were difference-making moments in her career, and the impact she's had on this team is immeasurable.
Back there.
Hi, Emma. Melanie
Hi.
with The Athletic. We've talked a lot about young players over the years, over the months, but what can you say about the veteran players on this squad? You have, Emily, Rose, Lindsay. So what can you say just about being their coach and guiding them and seeing their growth as veterans and leaders on this roster?
It makes me smile thinking about them, to be honest with you, because first of all, you can't compete to win without experience. You cannot. And some of that experience is not just in the things you see on the pitch. It's all the things you do not see. Whether that is, I think about Lindsay since I've come to this country, what an unbelievable leader she's been in terms of driving standards. I would say alongside Emily Sonnet, alongside our Rose in different ways. And not just upholding standards, but actually bringing people into it so people belong, so they feel valued. But and also adapt with the changes that come with the differences in generations, to be able to meet them where they're at. The thing that stands out the most to me is their humility. Emily Sonnet said to me at least 3 times in my one-to-one yesterday, "Thank you for inviting me back in." I mean, if Emily Sonnet's saying that, Rose, equally, the joy she has to come back in here, they don't take it for granted. And that is, I always say to our less experienced players, you look up to these people. I said to Jordan Bugg, spend some time with Emily Sonnet this week. I think it would be really good for your next steps to talk about her journey. And what I value in those 3 in particular is all of the above. There's a little bit of old school in them, but their humility, their honesty, their generosity, their spirit is such a joy. They're a joy to be around, and I love their company as well as their qualities on the field. But I think it is absolutely important to talk about those qualities off the field, because they're all the things fans and media do not see, and they are first class.
Back to Jeff.
Emma, it was this window last year, you were talking a little bit about synchronizing as best you can the NWSL schedule, the Friday games as an example. Have you seen that improve? Is there anything you'd like to see further improve? Obviously, this window falls right before a decision day, right before playoffs. You can't control that, but the FIFA window is set for several years now.
Yes, it is, and it's not something I can't control, but one of the things we're working on together with NWSL as partners is let's be future focused on looking at opportunities within our calendars to support each other in certain situations, and I look forward to building out these joint work streams. We certainly have a lot of efforts going on in the background to not synchronize, but like really listen to each other on where those maybe more important points might be in the season for us to adapt, and vice versa. So there's definitely a lot of work going on in the background with that. And it's only going to benefit both club and country to do those things, and we're partners, so it is critical we sit together to do those things, and we're currently doing that.
JT.
I wanted to ask you about one of those under-23 players, mainly because she's from here, Riley Tiernan. She's had a very good rookie year with Angel City, scoring goals and other things. What do you want her next steps to be so that she gets in the running for the senior squad?
Well, I think the under-23 program is a classic example of what someone like Riley Tiernan needs, because that jump from 20s to senior is massive. And you've seen whether it's Jaden Shaw or Alyssa Thompson coming into the environment at young ages, the expectation is off of the back of maybe strong starts is just that, and that doesn't happen. There are plateaus in that, there are losses of form, there are real growth periods off the field. They're growing up, and I feel that it's important not to skip steps. There's a reason there is a gap between, let's say, Kat Macario and Riley Tiernan, and that's because one has accumulated all that experience and wisdom as a result of many things. And I think Riley Tiernan is where she should be, and hopefully we can provide games for her in the under-23 program. But she's moving in the right direction. I think she's had a great year. I think Riley Tiernan to Adamis in Seattle, Maddie Darlene, Pietra Tordin, another bright talent, Riley Jackson, brilliant rookie year. I could go on and on and on around that, and that's the great thing about the 23 program, is it's really bridging the gap. And with NWSL providing so many playing opportunities to these less experienced players, they are getting that experience. And I think about the Futures Camp and the impact of the Futures Camp last January and the number of players that came out of that and played senior national team football. There is a direct correlation between variety of games, volume of games, and what you do at under 17, under 20, under 23 as a base, as a foundation for future success for both club and country. So she just needs to keep doing what she's doing.
Last one, Henry, go ahead.
Hey, I'm Henry Bushnell from The Athletic again. Just to pick up on something you said, you mentioned that you chatted when you were chatting with Emily Sana at one-on-one yesterday. Is that those one-on-one chats, is that the type of thing you schedule with every player in every camp? Yeah. And
Yep, I do. I haven't finished them yet because there's sort of about 15, 20 minutes each, and the seniors always take the most time. It's so funny. Everybody moans because they're like, we're running late. I'm like, well, because our chats are so varied, and maybe because they're older, and I don't want to say we're closer in age. That's not the case. It's not far, I don't want to say that to them. But we have one-to-ones every camp as they come in, but just informal as well. They have other performance check-ins, female 360 check-ins, other 22. There's a variety of different things. But I love the one-to-ones because I can pick up on the front end just. Either things I notice and I want them to know, or what do they want to share that might be important for them, and whether it's to get them focused on what they're doing or just to support them in wherever they're at. And even though it's exhausting when you do like 10 a day, I love it because I get to see how they've been in the periods between I've seen them a lot. But we do a lot of check-ins in between camps too. So it's nice to have a face-to-face one. Zooms are tough.